6:30,
Okay.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. Okay, it's about 6:30, close enough. I'm going to call this meeting of the Preservation Board started. Let's see. Pam, can we have a roll call?
Mr. Sprecher,
Here?
Mr. Mrzinski,
Here.
Ms. Hallett,
Here.
Ms. Ryan.
Okay. Okay, before we get started, does anybody have we open it for public comments? Anybody have anything for public comments? Hearing none, continue on. This is a quasi-judicial.
Yes,
We
sir.
can get that going.
Thank you. This is a quasi-judicial proceeding where the Heritage Preservation Board acts in a quasi-judicial manner rather than the legislative capacity. At a quasi-judicial hearing, it's not the board's function to make law, but rather to apply law that has already been established. In a quasi-judicial hearing, the board is required by law to make findings of fact based upon the evidence presented at the hearing and apply those findings of fact to previously established criteria contained in the Code of Ordinances in order to make a legal decision regarding the application before it. The board may only consider evidence at this hearing that the law considers competent, substantial, and relevant to the issues. If the competent, substantial, and relevant evidence at the hearing demonstrates that the applicant has met the criteria established in the Code of Ordinance, then the board is required by law to find in favor of the applicant. By the same token, if the competent, substantial, and relevant evidence at the hearing demonstrates the applicant has failed to meet the criteria established in the Code of Ordinance, then the board is required by law to find against the applicant. At this point, I would ask the board if anyone has any ex parte communications to disclose. Hearing none, I'd ask the members of the board if there's any conflicts of interest to discuss. Hearing none, anyone that will testify today, please stand and raise your right hand. Are you? Yep. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give in this proceeding is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're going to go on to application 2215. This is for the bank, some signs for the bank on 203 East Tarpon Avenue. Pat, you want to go through this? Okay.
Good evening, Pat McNeese, Principal Planner. This is a pretty straightforward application. This is for a sign change at Truest Bank. Let me see if I'm advancing this good. There it goes. So we are seeking a certificate of approval for placement of one freestanding sign and wall signs at the property. And you all know this property. It's right down here on Ring Street, corner of Ring and East Tarpon. Used to be a diver supply, sponge supply originally. So this is a contributing altar, I believe is what it is. There's been some significant alterations on the building in the past, including the front entrance right here was the entrance. That was a major change. So the applicant is asking for, again, several signs on site, a freestanding, some wall signs, some directional signs, and a surrounding sign for the automated teller machine, and the materials are listed there. These are your guidelines that apply. These are the locations of the signs, the freestanding sign here, directional signs around the property. The ATM is here at the drive-through, and then wall signs on the west and south corners of the property. This is the freestanding sign. They actually have basically a Truest bag over it to show the name change, but the actual sign would be, I think that is an acrylic. It would be an illuminated cabinet of 10 feet in height. That's your limit for the historic district of acrylic and vinyl materials. This is the directional signage and the ATM signage. The ATM sign would be illuminated as well. The directional would not. And wall signs on the south side and the west side. I thought from the site plan that there was a sign proposed here. The applicant can speak to that and confirm that there isn't. In addition to the site plan, there's just a banner hanging there, temporary banner now. But I do not believe there's a sign proposed for that ground level area or here. We're looking at just the two where the SunTrust signs were to replace those. And just a shot of the corbelling on the parapet on top. The signs are proposed on that flat surface, not to interfere with those architectural details. And one thing I did note that I should have probably recommended a condition on is that the freestanding sign by code should have landscape shrubbery around it. Looks like it probably did have it around, all the way around it at one time. The request would be for the applicant to go ahead and fill that back in with some sort of shrubbery. This is a landscape kind of area here. So staff is recommending approval and with the condition that the certificate will expire after 3 years if the building permit is not issued. I'd also like to recommend a condition that the applicant bring the freestanding sign up to code compliance with the landscaping code. Are there any questions?
Questions? No. Thank you, Pat.
Okay.
Okay, the applicant, you want to give us a brief here?
Hi, how are you? You were correct, those,
Ma'am, could you state your name and address before you
I'm
start?
sorry. My name's Cindy Gould, 1219 Forest Highlands Drive, Dade City.
Thank you.
Okay.
But you were correct, that those signs on the bottom are being taken down and not replaced.
Okay.
And we will comply. I will get a landscape plan around the ground sign.
Okay.
Great. Okay, that sounds good. Pretty straightforward. Do you have any
Pretty
questions?
straightforward.
Yeah. Do you have any questions? Hearing, oh, go ahead.
I have a question. If you have a freestanding sign, what is the need to be putting the wall signs on the building?
For more people to see it as they're driving down the road, you know, it's more of a,
Isn't the freestanding large enough?
the property is large enough, the freestanding sign's only in the entranceway, so people coming and going can see the, you know, the wall signs.
I know, but I don't want to use that word,
I mean, there are
but
existing wall
I
signs
will.
there from the existing bank, so they're just taking the place of the existing signs.
Yeah,
We're
I
not adding any more.
yeah, well, I think the wall signs look tacky. That's my,
Okay.
yeah,
And
you know.
remember the criteria.
It's a beautiful building, and then you put signage all over it, yeah.
Just remember to focus on the criteria that they need to present when making your rulings.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really have a problem with the wall signs, because I don't think you'll see the freestanding sign if you're coming from the other direction, because it is in the back there. You said entrance, but it's the
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, and remember, this property has 3 street frontages,
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
that's what you're dealing with.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
Sure. I would recommend approval of application 22-15 for 203 East Tarpon Avenue
The recommendations.
with the recommendations of staff, which include the landscaping
Okay.
of
Second.
the sign.
I'll second it.
Okay, do we want to have any more discussions on this? No?
I don't.
Okay.
I just,
Okay, any public discussion on this, input? Hearing none. Let's have a vote. Can
Mr.
we have a roll call?
Mrzinski? Mr. Mrzinski?
Yes.
Ms. Hallett?
yes.
Mr. Sprecher?
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're
Okay.
done.
Okay, that's the last of the applications. Staff, do you have any comments?
Yes, I've got 4 items for you. First is, just for your information, the Board of City Commissioners, I almost said county for some reason, has on their agenda tomorrow evening a board appointment. So we're hoping to fill at least 1 seat for board appointments for this board. And then the second thing is, we had, for our adaptation and resiliency plan, we had a great couple of workshops. We had a technical workshop on during the day on Thursday, February 24th, and then we had a public workshop which was well attended that evening. So we'll be bringing some of the results of that to you. I will be posting the PowerPoint that goes with that on Connect Tarpon Springs, and I'll be contacting each of you to provide those updates. We need to have a goal-setting workshop for that plan. I am proposing, just working with the consultant's schedule, to hold that on April the 11th. That's a Monday. Your regular meeting is April the 4th. What I'd like to do is move that meeting to April 11th if you can attend on that evening. We have 1 application right now. It's a roof application that I think we'll bring that and then have the workshop. I wanted to kind of gauge your interest in that, see if you all would be available, if you'd be able to come to that workshop, for that purpose. And, I can email you, I guess, and get a response that way, but I do need to schedule that pretty quickly. I'd need an answer sometime, probably by tomorrow,
That sounds good here with
for
me.
public notice.
So what are you saying again about the 11th? That's when our next meeting would be? Instead of the-
I'm proposing to move it from April 4th, Monday, April 4th, to Monday, April 11th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I don't have a
Maybe
problem
just
with that.
catch two birds with one
Right.
stone, yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, all right, great, that helps a lot, and I'll be providing some materials ahead of that for that workshop.
Okay.
Actually, I only had 3. Just wanted to make sure you notice the historic plaque out front of the building here that was dedicated last week for the old Tarpon Springs High School. It's out as you come in to the building, so,
Yeah, take a look at that.
all right? And
Okay.
that's it for me.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any comments?
I did.
Huh? Okay.
God, I hate the signage.
I know. This is definitely well, not quite a record. It's 13 minutes. But I'm calling this adjourned.
No, I think we did it quicker one night.
Okay. We did a quicker one. It was 8.
This is,
Okay. So I'm calling this meeting adjourned. Thank you very much for coming.
Okay.
Okay.
thank you. Okay.